to Springboard in Virtual Investing. My name is Albert Okran, welcoming you to your favorite inspirational program and the place where the greatest minds in the world converge. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation and proudly sponsored by MTN Ghana and the Enterprise Group, with media support from the Multimedia Group and the Graphic Communications Group. Today we are honored to be back in the studios with Martin Eson-Benjamin. Last week we were so blessed to travel the journey of his life with him, and if I may say so, not the full length of the journey because there's so much to unpack, but we learned from a 22-year-old graduate determined to take on the world and try out his ideas, and some of the choices he made that ensured that wherever he went, he rose from the bottom to the top. Of course, not surprisingly, many of you have shared your ideas and your thoughts on social media about some of these lessons that we are canvassing. But let's go down to the person's values, leadership style, and choices that we can literally break down for our benefit, just so that someone listening today can also follow that same path and say it is doable and it is possible. Mr. Eson-Benjamin, welcome once again to Springboard.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for those inspiring thoughts in the first part. So let's start with your leadership style. What kind of leader are you? And what are the principles that define your leadership?
I use two examples. First, I'm out to get results. I mean, at any position that I'm given. I mean, just that's why you are asked to lead. You have to get results which would meet the objectives of the business, or even if it's a society or organization, anything that you happen to be a leader of. You must make sure that you synchronize your thoughts and your ideals with what it is that they ask you to do. But in doing so, you have to put in your own energy, your hard work. And it's always been said that somebody has invested his money. That's if it's not your own business. Because I've not run my own business before. Therefore, it's somebody's money that I'm managing. And that person's money means something to him. So you have to go behind his thinking and polish up, if he's an entrepreneur, understand the basis for what he's doing and even do it better for him. Because you might have just an icing, he might just have given you an idea which he thinks will gel. But when you can polish it up, because that is your psyche, that's how you want to run your business. Then, in this day and age, ethics is everything. Because we are undermined by the fact that people are dishonest. People are corrupt. Corruption doesn't only mean stealing money. It's the fact that you do not exercise your capabilities the right way you should do it. In the long run, you cut corners.
Are you implying that if somebody is employed and they can deliver on the mandate and they do less than what they are hired to do, they are corrupt?
I'm not saying that hard work is at the bottom of everything. It's not because, I'm using the word corrupt not because of stealing money. It's because you didn't use your time the way you should use it, and therefore you didn't achieve the results you're looking for. That's precisely what I'm saying. If you're lazy and you get paid every month, then you are not really creating value. You are destroying value. And therefore, anything that is gets destroyed is corrupted.
Wow. So a lazy person is corrupt?
Eh?
A lazy person is by inference corrupt?
In the sense that if he's lazy, it means he could have done better than what he's doing.
That's thought-provoking.
Huh?
That's thought-provoking.
Yeah. If you say that you put players on the field and say that this player has been taken out because he was very lackadaisical, he was not pulling his weight, and the coach sees him and says, come out of it. It means that he wasted everybody's time.
Charlie, the Blasters players who didn't score the goal, from your definition, they are corrupt.
I'm using the word corrupt from a different angle.
I know, but I'm just enjoying that.
We are all talking about corruption as you steal money. No, the things you didn't do the thing you didn't put at the right place. It's all part of you. In the long run, it defines the type of human being you are. Because if you didn't achieve the result, but you got value for yourself and got paid, then you have a challenge. The problem of a talent. The guy who went and buried it he corrupted it, isn't it?
Yeah, he was corrupt. It's a new value, a new definition of corruption. It's the Eson-Benjamin definition of corruption.
So I say that ethical behavior, ethical transcends a lot of things. I work with people, so I try to be paternalistic. Paternalistic means that I'm a father. Every child of yours is your son, your child, your daughter. You got to bring the person up. If you neglect it, the person will not shine. You will struggle, and the world will look at him and say he's a failure. So therefore, as a leader, you want to bring everybody on board. You want to participate in their joy and their happiness. You want to motivate them. You want to coach them. You want to participate in the work they do. You want to lead from the front. You are there for them, literally. I think that is what I try to be.
Does that put a bit of the onus for the person's success on their supervisor as well?
Indeed, every piece of gold you take from the ground could be sold for some value, but if it's not polished, it remains a piece of gold. But somebody will take it and polish and put value on it. Everybody's success depends on where he finds himself and who is trying to lead him. There are footballers who have been warming the bench in a team and they are not happy. Let them leave and go to another coach. They are given the chance to play and they score goals. What makes the difference? The leader, the coach, put himself in the way, give him the opportunity to excel and direct him, and give him the guy also lives up to expectation. So if you have workers working with you, you need to let them emulate you, let them work up to, but polish their own, their own goals. Let them showcase that they can achieve if they do things like that. And if they have a challenge, you are going to be part of them. You cannot bring all of them. And let me tell you, some people will just corrupt, let me say, peter out. That one, you cannot do anything about them. But once they have some sense in them and that they want to continue working with you, then they have to toe the line and sometimes give them some time. If you were to play on words, give them some time. Those same people can become a different group of people. You surprised that the same people achieve the same results. And it has happened on so many instances.
So from your experience, especially with people who start out very badly and don't seem to be figuring their way out, and you probably considered firing them, but stayed with the course a bit more, and they turned around. What was the turning point?
Yeah.
What caused it?
It's the trust, the belief in them, the motivation, the fact that you've recognized them as people who also must earn a living, who must be there and have gone to school. They went to school like anybody else. So question them, why? What is the problem? Kill yourself, staying late in the night, doing your homework, bringing it the next morning, making sure you're writing your paper. If you write it, bring it to me tomorrow morning. We'll go through it together. Then you go back and polish it and say you did it. And then it begins to change the person. But if after the end of the day, I always throw some people under the bus, you may end up not getting anyone to carry you. You bring 50 people in every day, they will mess you up. So you're lucky if you consistently go through the process that we just enumerated. Training, moving on, opportunities, challenges. You come to find that the people you never trusted sometimes, one of them suddenly becomes somebody you always want to, you bring him in. But there are others that would fall apart. That one, they themselves will even leave and go away. But whoever wants to be polished, to move up, to me, as a father to them, That's why I say paternalistic. It's a sort of leadership where you embed yourself in the people and treat them like your children and lead them with the ethics and the tenets that you believe in. And let us work together and dirty our hands together. At the end of the day, the crown is what we are all going to achieve. Then we are all happy for our homes, for our names, for our families, for our children. But that is to be the philosophy.
Do you have people like that who came to you that you polished, who today, or who in the course of their careers rose to the pinnacle? And I feel very grateful for the opportunity that you give them.
I would say there have been, I don't want to mention this. For example, when we were in Liver Brothers, there was a lady who everybody thought was not shining. Then the opportunity came for us to let them go and do some additional courses, diploma. And I can tell you that I think some people were not happy with me. They put in that. But when they went, surprise, surprise, with all the other people who have gone through the other one, she was the one who got a distinction in what she did. So if Jenny came back, the question then is, if she went to the same school and got a distinction, that means that we might have done something wrong here. There are other boys, a boy who decided that he is leaving us, going away because he was downhearted. And one day he called me and said he wants to come back. And everybody said, don't bring him. He's left, he's not a manager, he doesn't know serious. I think, let him. I think that guy was not bad. Let him come. But through all the changing times, the guy came finally. And today, when he moved on to become the head of the department, one of the departments. There could be others, in various places that I've worked, who I believe, when I worked for MIDA, there were a number of people, some people walked to my office from America and said, sack this man, sack this man, sack this man. You don't like them, they are not good, they are not firing, they are not. I went to Washington one morning and they brought the issue up. And I said, if I do that, I may go back to find that I don't have anybody to work with.
Wow.
So give me that responsibility to ensure that they achieve the targets that you are looking for. But if you say sack them, then okay, I can sack them. But you are telling me to sack them. Who is the replacement? And do you know the type of person who is going to come? You can come and let me down. So let me go and get these people and tell them that, look, your life is on the line. Let's put energies into it. In the long run, we applauded. That it's a fantastic performance of the whole team.
Let's stay with MIDA. How was the time there?
MIDA, I was in MIDA on 2 terms, 2 different terms. The first one was from...
So the full name is
Millennium Development Authority,
okay.
Which was responsible for managing there's accountable entity for the compact, Millennium Challenge Account Compact, which the US government instituted for development purposes. The first one, they gave us $547 million as agricultural. And therefore, I had applied, and they shortlisted me from 8 people, and I got a job. And
a CEO.
A CEO. And we hit the ground running, and we delivered. That's what the N1 is all part of it.
Anytime I drive on the N1, I remember you.
Yeah. So we got that was over. But before we could even finish, the Americans, when I was in Washington, said, look, you guys deserve a second compact because you've managed the first compact very well. And I'm saying because I don't do these things alone. I'm doing it with people. That's what I'm saying. The people matter. And so therefore, if you're a father to them, so that they continue to want to work with you. So that whatever your vision is, they all buy into it and they deliver. Then we delivered together. And in the long run, they gave us a second compact, which was the power compact. I was not supposed to play a part in it because I was asked to go because I finished my first compact. So I went home. 2 years down the line, the government called me and said, look, come back and take over this place and see whether you can get the results you are looking for. And I went back and I put in another 6 years. So the first one was 2006 to 2014. Then from 2017 to 2023. So these are the two. One of them was power, electricity, and the rest of it, which is not my area. Agriculture is not my area. But as I said, I'm a generalist. I can now bring all my knowledge of a bit of marketing, a bit of entrepreneurial drive, a bit of human resource management, bring all those things together and put it on the governance structure and make sure that you can play the role of the orchestra, the guy standing there organizing the orchestra. You play this role, you play that role, and then harmonize. So you harmonize the strengths and you get results.
When you are hiring people, what do you look for?
One, when I look at my own background, I realize that paper degrees are very important. One thing I lost is that I didn't go to academia. And I always feel that I should have gone and done a little bit more there, but I didn't do that. But I always look for people who come with joy in their hearts, to come not only for salary, but to follow a career pattern. I went to school, I studied engineering. I've got a chance here. I know you are doing roads, I know you are building schools, I know you are doing electricity. We want to come and become part of that family. There are people whose body language, give you straight away the impression that you
can come to that. The person you haven't tried, how can you tell what's in their heart?
Well, it's as I say, it's on paper, so you have confidence. You want to trust them on the basis of their paper qualification, because that's the basis. If he hasn't got experience before, or he's got a limited experience, okay, that is also encouraging, because you bring him in, he can continue to build up on his experience. But then you are hitting the ground running. And that's the time you are now orchestrating that, hey, you said you are an engineer, so I want you to deliver this 1 week, or study this document, follow these people, go with the consultant, go with the contractor, and make sure that you understand each other. You are reporting every other week. So every 2 weeks, you're going to report to me. And we report in an open meeting. And I'm going to put you on the carpet. I will ask you questions. Everybody then begin to shudder when there's a meeting or 2 weeks. Because whatever he doesn't even know, he has to go and learn. And in that case, you start polishing them. So in a meeting when somebody is not doing well, and I say, this guy, looks like he's not performing. Let's call him, madam. If you don't put your house in order, you can do it. Why are you lethargic? Why are you? And I'm sure that I never fired somebody in MEDA. I never called anybody and said, you get out. We carried everybody along. And in the long run, they delivered. Some left at the point where we didn't need them, because it's a project. So if this ends, you go, you bid your time and work with him. But he goes away fulfilled, in the sense that he was part of it, and now the next 10 he gets, he's going to be a better person there. And I've seen that.
Was there a cost to you of this paternalistic approach that you described?
Yeah, by all means, there are the positive sides and there are the weak.
And you still have no regrets?
I don't think I regretted ever working with people, because the enthusiasm with which people say we are firing and bringing people, it's a great concept. But it's the person you fire, you want to bring in another person. The whole issue of employment is a risk. You take the person on and hope that he can help you to build a bridge. If he doesn't do it, at the point in time, his contract will end, he will go away. That's a norm.
What's your greatest moment arising out of the media work that you did?
For Compact 1, we delivered almost everything that was, indicated as a deliverable, to the point that we were applauded as the best in class, in the sense that we used the money properly, we accounted for the money.
Were there others in the class?
The class
other countries?
Other countries, maybe 22 other countries.
Okay.
Which were doing we were Costa Rica, El Salvador, Tanzania, everybody, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Ivory Coast, everybody is involved in this thing, because they've all been given
the best.
Yeah, and because the quality of our deliverable was just beyond what the expectation, And it's not a matter of blame. I think Ghana has a lot which people do not appreciate. And the Americans worked with us. They helped us to define what direction we want to take, and they worked with us. And I can tell you that they took our examples everywhere as to what it is that Ghana has achieved.
Why are we not replicating this success story in other facets of our work?
Well, I believe that just as I was called back, it meant that somebody saw that there's a good chance, something good in continuity. And that if you were able to continue to understand it, you build a team which can deliver for everything. Agriculture, they can deliver on power sector reforms. They can deliver in, right? So government recently asked me that to go back after we finished the power compact to go into agriculture, rice growing, maize, sorghum, any other thing that we needed in this country, poultry, tomatoes, onions, and the rest of it. So we are working on that now. I say I've left it, but I'm no longer there. But it's been there. So as at now, that is the direction we are following. Government realized that MIDA had very good nose to smelling in terms of development activities. They could do a lot better. So we were selected to go and take over what the Ghana Cares program is. So yeah, there's a recognition. Challenges, as you said, there were low things that painfully shouldn't have happened that way. We had a challenge of the PDS, if you remember. As to how people explain it, I know a lot more differently from what people think. But politics rears its head. And that is the bane of a country. Things that we could drive with very objective minds tend to get swayed by some people's political inclinations. When I work with you, I do not want to know whether you are in GC or MPP or anybody. You got to deliver to us. And I can tell you, if I'm not sitting here and you bring all my boys here, one person who can say that, look, they allowed me. I can't see people who will come and say Martin didn't help us to move things forward. So therefore, I work, leave the place, and I say I left friends. I don't have enemies. I don't think anybody can point out to the when you were there, you misled us. You did certain things. No. That's why I say ethics. It becomes the cornerstone of whatever I do. That get the right things done, make sure the fringes, the frills that are not necessary are cut off, focus on the resource and use it effectively, involve yourself in the use of that resource, lead from the front, be exemplary, and be hardworking. So I sit in the office and I write a document. If somebody has to write a document and is delaying, I will help him to get a document done. After it's done, it's for all of us. We move on.
This is Springboard, your virtual university. Once again, the writing skills have come up. If you're a young person and you don't know how to write, you have to learn to write, because listening to this beautiful story, I see writing coming up over and over and over again. And for somebody who's researched a bit into critical success factors, I would want to say that maybe consider that one as one of the things that you will need on this career journey that you find yourself on. Let's go for a break. And when we come back, let's explore a bit more about recognition, about awards, and also about the downsides of this very beautiful story of Martin Eson-Benjamin. Before we go for the break, let me just give you our enterprise advantage tip for the day. The question for the day is, can I use transition services if the funeral is outside of Accra? As you know, transitions is one of the businesses in the enterprise group. And the question is, can you use their services if a funeral is outside Accra, somewhere in your village in another part of the country? And the answer is, transition services can be used in every region here in Ghana. Just visit their website for details on smart burial packages. if your funeral is outside of Accra, because you could find out that you can save cost just by talking to them about your needs. This tip is brought to you by the Enterprise Group. Call them on 030-263-4777 or email info@myenterprisegroup.io. Enterprise definitely is your advantage. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with MTN and the Enterprise Group, with media support from the Multimedia Group and the Graphic Communications Group. Let's go for a break. When we come back, let's find out, after all this hard work, what about the recognition? What about the awards? What about the national awards? And what is the greatest fulfillment that Martin Eson-Benjamin has? Please don't go away.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security goat to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Whether it's 1924, 2024, or 2124, we've always known that you are driven by your sense of safety and well-being. It is what drives us to see you through from start to finish, from small to big. And in the last 100 years, as you have evolved, so have we also expanded to serve you in many ways. From cradle to grave, with expertise in insurance, life, pensions, properties, health, and for those beautiful memorable goodbyes. It's 2024, and in all our markets, our pedigree is recognized, our strength respected, our expertise valued, and our solutions sought by all who desire an advantage in life. Experience the time-tested and truly trusted 100 years legacy of Ghana's oldest insurer. Take charge of your future now. Insurance, life, pensions, property management, funeral services, health insurance. Enterprise, your advantage.
Welcome back to Springboard, your virtual university, and to this beautiful conversation with Martin Eson-Benjamin. Last week we had some very interesting perspectives on his journey through various countries, rising to the top leadership position in different entities and at different times in his career journey. Today we are trying to find out the principles, the values, the leadership style. He's talked about being paternalistic, holding people's hands and helping them to rise up, sometimes at cost, but ultimately for the good of the entire entity. Let me tell you about why young people are excited about agribusiness and why you should be as well. If you are aged between 18 and 35 and you are interested in opportunity in the agribusiness, agriculture, and ATVET spaces, take note of the Ghana Growth Program, an initiative of MasterCard Foundation in collaboration with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and other partners. It's simple. It's just about exciting young people about agriculture, agribusiness, and ATVET, and pointing them to opportunities in those spaces and giving them mentoring and guidance to be able to take up decent and fulfilling jobs in those spaces. If you are interested in signing up and finding out what is there, just call our call center or WhatsApp 030-8255-775. 030-8255-775. It's a big deal because Ghana Growth simply says Hope Day for the young person to take up opportunities in these sectors. If Ghana had more Eson-Benjamins, it would be very different. Let's go on to recognition for your work.
Yeah, you know, sometimes they come naturally. Sometimes somebody saw your work and they want. You know, I said that from 1991 to 1995, from August 91 to 1995, I was the marketing director, marketing controller of Unilever. When I came back from Nigeria, Unilever was doing well. But then you went to all the supermarkets the time you saw things on the shelves and you say, wondered, why are we not able to challenge this imported product? What is it in it? What is in it? Oh, you have oil, Dino, it's coming from Ivory Coast. What is it? It's palm oil. They fractionate it and they bottle it and they sell it. And they are dominating our market. And we have best oil palm plantations. So let's go into oil. We launched a soap called Breeze powder, because that one is not caustic. It's not as strong as it's vegetable based. So it's easier on clothes and rest of it. We relaunched everything. So in that period, in 1995, I was made Marketing Man of the Year, because to do those relaunches within that period, and boom, the market bought into it. Royco, blah blah blah. Before you could say Jack, we've sent our volumes were going through the roof. I believe that when I joined, Unilever was doing about 23,000 tons. So before I left, we have hit almost 70,000. Just by the mere pressure of the marketplace and giving products that comparable in quality and everything to whatever is there. We launched a soap called Rexona Lime Fresh, because at that time there was a soap called Zest, which was imported, and it was very much of lemon based. So we realized that our Rexona was not doing well. So we changed the coloration, added lemongrass, into it, oil into it, and launched it. It was like a boom.
Is it the research part of you that?
It's asking questions. Yeah, it's the point about it is that it's a lazy head. If you went to the supermarket and you sat on the supermarket and looked at every other week, I was going to a marketplace. I was walking through the market. I was going to multi-stores and I'm looking what is on the shelf. Smell it, take it to the office, let people look at the label.
Is it a Unilever thing? I find that it's a very common feature that one minute you're in the boardroom, the next minute you've changed into some...
You go to a marketplace.
You change into some clothes and go to the Makola, inside of the Makola.
You want to launch a brand, you want to launch it in the heat of the sun, in the middle of Makola, so people know that it is there, it's indigenous to the place. And those type of things, they matter.
Let's talk about questions. How important are questions, asking the right questions to being a great leader?
I think they're essential. Silence is deadly. If you don't ask questions and you are silent, nobody knows what's in your mind. If you do it, you are a dictator. If you get people's mindset, you bring them together and ask them questions, and they accept the fact that you are asking very leading questions and that they don't have answers to them. It begins to matter to them that they are naive, they don't know what you are talking about. But when they start seeing some questions and challenges that, but why don't you think about it? But why didn't you make this place neat? Why do we leave all this? I walk on the roads that any time I go to any place, I want to say there's a new kid on the block. There's a new manager in this filling station. In the past, this station is under new management when they put it there, because you must characterize the place with some new ideas which everybody will come and see. If you cannot showcase yourself, then you have a problem.
So I see quite a number of awards.
Yeah, awards I can tell you.
Personality of the Year, National Award, Order of the Volta, and so on.
Order of the Volta. You see, when I said, I digress. When I went to Unilever, I launched all these products. So I got the Marketing Man of the Year. I mean, it was automatic. The market was ecstatic. Every time distributors were making money, Lever Brothers. So instead of marketing felt, hey, you've really excited the market, so they made me a Marketing Man of the Year. Then the Chartered Institute of Marketing, that's what I'm saying, a fellow. Later on they followed it up and said you want to be a fellow because you want you to be very, very much part of it. Then when I was in KBL, I did this tourism rounds with my team. we decided we look at all the derbes, all the festivals in Ghana, and map them on a road show, and say that from, let's say, June to September, these are the festivals in Ghana. So we went and started sponsoring all of them, and then climaxing in the finals in Accra, where we did the overall. So every region we go and sponsor tourism, and it was related to tourism, so that if a visitor came to Ghana and wanted to know what is going on, we write. My man, Benefrifa, if I can mention his name, will go out, and he was the marketing man, write out the history of the festival, the background, and then based on that, we are using it together to launch it, to go to the village, to participate in it, to give them T-shirts, to give them some drinks, so that the essential thing is that when there's jollity and there's joy, Star Beer is the brand. But at the same time, it brings up the tourist, the tourist aspect of it, so that people can come to Ghana and say, we are coming to Ghana in July. We are going to this 5 or 6 festivals. And when we go there, it's clean and tidy, it's well organized.
Let me pick your mind on the award for or the celebration of your work at the Harvard University before we close.
Okay.
I think that's very key for
the
me.
Harvard, when we did the N1, because it's American money, some people had written on it in terms of the compact and what it was supposed to do for Ghana. So some research guy had written a paper on the ingredients, the makeup of the 12 components projects, and he thought it was one of the best arrangements for development. I mean, if it was a blueprint for development. So when we were almost at the tail end of it, finishing it, and they realized that they went to MCC, Millennium Challenge Corporation of America, and they told them, look, the guys have blown it, they've done it. So the individuals apparently came to Ghana and themselves looked around and saw some of the things that we were doing. So they went back. And when we went back, they invited us that we should come and tell our story. 2013, Harvard graduating class, master's, MBA. So here was I, with my boss, who was Professor Sifadede. We went together and we took questions, we explained what we had done. And I think that in the long run, we felt very encouraged, but that some people elsewhere had valued the things we've done in Ghana, and that even come to invite us all the way to the US to go and talk about it. We wish that it had been done by our own local universities, but unfortunately that was not the case. But I felt that with my team, we had been really recognized, and that we could then be empowered to do a lot more.
Let me take a minute to find out if you've experienced setback, rejection, because somebody will say the story is so nice, but have you also experienced setbacks?
Yes. One is practical, one is ambition, which somebody did not recognize. When I was in KBL, the volume, the capacity of the brewery was 450,000 hectoliters. 450,000 hectoliters. And I went there in 1995, August. And if you look at the trajectory, we would exhaust capacity by the year 2003. I went there in 1995. We exhaust capacity by the year 2003, which means you inch along. So we went there and said, look, beer the Nani Club. No. Why? Beer the Nani Star. We should change the discussion. I mean, the conversation from beer the Nani to beer and Star beer. You're brighter by far on a star. So why should it be the brand? So we hit the ground with my team, and we reversed the whole process. And in the long run, we became the market leaders. You understand me? When we did that, we exhausted capacity in 2 years. That is, by 1997, we could not find additional capacity. 450 is blown.
6 years ahead of schedule.
Ahead of schedule. So Heineken said we should look for a local partner. So I went around to Accra Brewery, to Guinness, to Achimota Brewery, looking for somebody to bottle. We will brew, but they will bottle. We couldn't get easy, anybody were coming us. On the long run, SNIT. And SNIT said, look, we are in charge of Achimota Brewery, but we are not brewers. So at the end of the day, they want to give it to companies like us who can manage it. So they sold it to us, to Heineken. And when we bought Heineken, we bought Achimota Brewery, the due diligence that was done, not by me, but by technical people from Heineken, went awry. It was not correct. So we couldn't get the volume that we were looking for immediately. So therefore, we were asked to go away.
How did you feel? Was that your first experience with
Because
rejection?
I said, I had gone to Holland, and I've been told that my strategy, my strategic plan was the best to get the brewery, so you buy a brewery, you do this, you do. So, there's a momentum. Only for us to get the brewery, for Heineken to pay, for us to realize that the company had sat there and so many other things were not like what we see. So we couldn't hit the ground running, and therefore we couldn't make the money that we were making, and therefore some of us were sacrificed. That was painful. The other one, but then I was sacrificed, but because they knew I didn't do anything wrong, they brought me back to become chairman of the board and asked me to stay on. My colleagues were all given jobs in Europe. All of them. In fact, almost all of us were shared over, so that to show that we never did anything wrong. Then the other one was political. When Kufuor left and Atta Mills, obviously all changed. So they wrote letters to all CEOs, and I was part of it, and I was asked to go away. And at that time, the compact was really, generating a momentum. I could say, well, so that was CEO who has been sacked. Green letter, hand over to this person. Thank you very much for you pay 3 months salary, blah, blah, blah. Friday evening. I said, hey, what is this? Obviously, it's painful, but the copy of letters sent to Heineken, to MCC said, look, these people have brought this compact to this level. There's no sense in asking them to go. So, Martin, you're not going nowhere.
Serious?
So, they wrote to Ghana government, say, you can't do what you have done. This guy has managed this place. And the letter is there. It's not a fake letter, it's there. Has not done anything wrong. He's rather held this business together exemplarily. So don't. So of all the people who went away, I was the only one who retained. They wrote back to and apologized, and I gave my job to me to stay on and finish the compact. Wow. So when Mr. Atta Mills came, Professor Mills came from the US. He called me to his office and apologized and said, "You're sorry. Listen, you didn't even know much about it." So that, and then the news got all over the place that I've been fired and the rest of it. So it was a pain. By the long run, when I was reinstated, we continued. I didn't go to the press. I didn't go and argue about anything. Look, life is like that. It's a straight line. Sometimes there are ups and downs. But once you haven't done anything wrong, you'll be exonerated.
What's the biggest lesson of your life, Mr. Martin Eson-Benjamin?
I said I didn't go to academia.
You still think about it? Will you write a book?
I think I should write a book. What we are saying is not the detail of it. We haven't said so much about it.
I still feel like we've not even scratched.
No. There are a lot of interesting
issues I would like to canvas.
A lot of interesting issues. I mean, experiences, challenges. Those that are normal, they have to go with, being beaten up, being slapped, all those things are not part of.
Beaten before?
Yeah, but I mean Nigeria. Beaten?
Yes. For what?
for breaching the traffic light, which wasn't true. I mean, because the day of the coup, when Murtala Mohammed was killed, that day,
You were in town?
I was in Lagos, and I was going to do research, market research, qualitative, in an area where the death had occurred. So we were caught in the traffic because the whole place was turned upside down. But we didn't know because I didn't listen to the radio.
You're just thinking about your research.
Because I was just going to do the research. And some guys in my car. And then in the course of we saw the whole place, people were running scatter. So I stopped, Ghanaian, being me. I saw a traffic light and I stopped. But apparently nobody wants to stop. Everybody wants me to go. Hey, go, 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 go. So the soldiers who were coming from the barracks were running in front of my car because that is the only vehicle that has stopped for them. But I didn't know another bunch was coming. Then I moved. And people say I didn't respect them because I should have waited for them to come. But I didn't see it. So they got hold of me in my car. Sorry. In my car, pulled me out, beat me up. Seriously.
You didn't climb the next plane back to Ghana?
No. I went home, my face bruised, my body, my shirt torn. All for the best, for the
research. Promise me that you will come back again because we must.
No, they are not. They are not
we must
interested.
find time to do this again, and this time do the untold story.
They're not interesting. I went to work in Liberia. I worked in Shalom. I worked here. So there are little snippets of issues that are very interesting.
We should talk about that side. But at this stage in your life, what gives you the most fulfillment?
You see, legacy. Legacy and legacy.
Yeah, I like that.
I think I've worked for 52 years. Literally, continuously for 52 years. I sleep and I don't dream about anybody. I don't have any fears in my heart that somebody's after me because I've done something wrong. I've taken his money. I've taken his wife or his girlfriend, or I've stolen money. I sleep and I sleep clean. But I think I can point to things that everybody says, oh, KBL, when you were there. Today KBL is out because it was sold to Guinness. It to my heart, it's painful. One of the most painful things that has ever happened. But Heineken have their own way of doing things. So sometimes you cannot fault them. They are their business. I know somebody's called me and said he thinks that decision was not right. But I'm not the person who decides them. So generally KBL going down was not, because I had lifted KBL up. And I've said, if anytime I use it's the team I work with. I went there, young man, MD, chairman and managing director. So I didn't have a return ticket to Unilever. I didn't have. I've been thrown there. You sink or you swim. But in the long run, as I've told you, we blew the volumes off of the, bought another brewery, set it up. In the long run, I was removed from being chairman because the brewery was now a bigger business. So you couldn't be chairman and managing director. So there was a new chairman, and I became managing director so that I can concentrate on what I'm doing, and the board would take the strategic decisions on my behalf. So the oversight was the board, and we would then concentrate. I don't have to be worried every morning about board matters and my day-to-day operations of the business. So I left I think for the time I was there, I left a good name, a good legacy. It just happened that it's been blown away by being so. But if you look at N1, if you look at Compact 1, Compact 2, if you look at the Pensions Commission, we did the 3-tier pension, brought it in, it is applauded, everybody wants it, being ILO and the rest of it, they think it's a fantastic pension scheme. If you look around anything we've done, it's always taken for success. So to me, I've retired, and I retired joyfully. I don't have any money. I mean, apart from being paid my salaries and the rest of it, I don't have free money lying around. You know, I can trace whatever I have to where I got it from. So my children have gone to school, they finished, they are on their own, they are happy, I'm happy. They are happy that the brand name Martin Eson-Benjamin has been kept alive. And I'm leaving, if I die tomorrow, I know that name will not be forgotten.
100 years from now, if your name was ever mentioned, final question, one word you would like to come up.
He came, he saw, he conquered.
He came, he saw, he conquered. Thank you so much, Muofa, Martin Eson-Benjamin, a man I would love to listen to any day, anytime, any place. And I could do this 5 times and still have many more questions to ask. But thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being so gracious and spending time with us.
Thank you.
On behalf of the young people of Ghana and on behalf of our listeners, viewers, and readers, we want to thank you for the example you set and the bar that you raised for posterity.
Let me also add that you've excited me, because to me, this is sort of, as I say, mentoring. You have given me an idea that I should spread my knowledge to other people. A mentor is not only the person who you is a senior person you are following, but there's people who also give you, they tell you where to look. You know, the point that what you have done for yourself, the things you've been able to achieve out of a common man, things that have come out, which are sustaining other young people and giving them hope, we take them for granted. That the collection of these type of pieces of efforts that makes a country a better place. You may sit your own corner somewhere, but generally, if you were involved in general governance of the country and the rest of it, you may have ideas which would fly, but you want to brighten your corner. And therefore, when we see it, when you invited me and I said, oh, okay, I have to go. I don't normally want to talk to people, but GBC has called me, everybody's called me, I don't want to go. But you've called me and I've come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We feel very honored. All right, this has been a very humbling, a very enthralling opportunity here on Springboard, the virtual university. So let me thank you on behalf of Team Springboard. Thank you on behalf of MTN Ghana. Thank you on behalf of the Enterprise Group, where Mr. Martin Eson-Benjamin continues to be a member of the board. And thank you on behalf of the Multimedia Group and the Graphic. I'm sure you know by now that Graphic is serializing this interview in full for the benefit also of our readers. So we come away again next week. My name is Albert Okran, saying God bless you, and God bless you.